Hi, everyone. Welcome back to AFTV. Welcome back to the Tactical Insight Show. I'm here with Graham. It's 2 days after Christmas, and Arsenal might have given us the best present of the lot, though I don't want to assume. How was your Christmas, Graham?
Hello, mate. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas
Merry
to
Christmas.
everyone on AFTV. Yeah, great Christmas, mate. My birthday is Christmas Day. So I've now been on the planet for 21,900 days. I won't tell you my age, but if you look up the last time Tottenham won a league title, there's your answer. So, but
Okay.
uh, Tottenham last won a league title, I think, 12 years after Arsene Wenger was born, 5 years before Roman Abramovich came onto the planet and started making his first steps in Russia. I had a great Christmas day this year because I did something I've never done before, and that is I took my family out for Christmas dinner. We
Oh,
went to a
nice.
nice, quiet country pub in East Lynne, which is between Faversham and Canterbury, and had a nice family day. And something I always wanted to do to celebrate my birthday. Yeah, so I had a great Christmas. How was your Christmas?
Oh, fantastic. Mine was good. Mine was good. I spent it with some family friends, which was really lovely. So yeah, all good. And to all
Yeah,
those who are celebrating as well and just have the holidays, others we hope you're obviously all doing well.
yeah.
Um,
Just one other thing, James, before you start. I actually
oh
got
yeah.
the chance to see that Wenger film, The Invincibles. I hadn't seen it before,
Yeah,
so
did you
it
enjoy
was,
it?
I really did enjoy it. And have you not seen it?
I'm yet to catch up on it, which I know is really bad of me, guys. Please don't hate.
I know
I
you're
really do.
a big
I've actually
Spot.
already bought it on Amazon Prime. I've just genuinely not got around to it. It's been quite a hectic December, as you can imagine. But yes, it's one for probably the New Year's Day hangover after we hopefully beat Man City. So we'll see.
I know you're a big Spider-Man fan, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I finally managed to catch that film as well.
Have you heard about the Tottenham remake? No trophies at
I,
home.
I did hear about this. I saw this going. I saw
I
this
can't
going
take
around
credit for
yesterday.
it, can I?
Oh, the internet's too quick. They're too good. If you've not seen that, guys, go see that meme because it's absolutely hilarious. Um, Look, I know Tottenham did their job, good 3-0 win, and we're going to be worrying about them in a few weeks when the North London derby comes around. But at the moment, I'm just flying high and enjoying what Arsenal are doing because we scored five in back-to-back games. I think since I last saw you, we booked our place in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. Um, and things are just looking good. We're cementing our place in the top four. We know there's some games in hand there to look out for, but ultimately we got the points on the board and we're halfway to 70, 19 games in. So that's pretty impressive, all things considered. Let's have a look at this game. It was a 5-0 win. It was convincing. I said in my fan cam that I don't think we even got out of second gear, but Arsenal still looked good, still looked impressive. And before we go into the match stats and everything, there was some interesting pre-match discussion around four right backs all being unavailable and Arteta's solution to it. What did you make of it?
Yeah, obviously he had four right backs not available, all due to COVID. I think was what I heard.
Yeah,
Tommy
something like
Astu,
that.
Cedric, Maitland, Niles, and Chambers. So literally, I think his choice then was: did he go with Tavares? He could have played him. He's right footed. He could have played him on the right hand side, of course. But I think he went in the end for the right call, and that's how it played out in the game. He moved Ben White over to right back, and he brought in Rob Holding, who I think is the best of the replacement defenders, who's not actually first choice. And he fitted very nicely into the system alongside Gabriel. Ben White, of course, offers that ability. He can play inverted, which is what Tommy Astu does. And we have to credit Tommy Astu because somebody messaged me actually after the last Tactical Insight and said how good Tommy Astu's been this season. Most tackles, most aerial duels won,
Mm.
most passes out for defence. Every number he's first, I think, apart from balls into the final third. So he's been an excellent signing. So that was going to be a hard task to bring
Yeah.
to bring the combativeness into the team that he offers. And I thought Ben White came in, James, and did an excellent job on the day.
Yeah, he was terrific, and I agree. Maybe we don't give Tomiyasu the credit he deserves because there's so many players in great form right now. But Tomiyasu's been an absolute steal for what 17, 18 mil we spent. He's been absolutely terrific. But we got the job done without him on Boxing Day, a 5-0 win. Let's have a little look at the match stats because we always say it. They don't always paint the right picture. Sometimes they do. I think in this case they absolutely do. Ramsdale had little to nothing to do. We had all the ball. We almost double the passes there and a much better XG. It was comfortable, really. I mean, I actually struggled to think of a game where we've been that comfortable throughout the whole thing. I mean, throughout from minute one to the final whistle. Even Leeds, you can say in the second half they grew into a little bit more, got the penalty, maybe a little bit of a scare there. If you're really digging, but this was comfortable from minute one, wasn't it?
It was. I think we totally dominated the whole game. 16 shots there, 6 on target. Dominated possession, more passes. Our XG is 265. What I took out of the game was how clinical we were also in front of goal. We totally dominated them. Norwich played a very compact, low block sort of performance. It's almost like I can describe it as like just pressing with a one up top with everybody behind the ball, very compact, very narrow. But that suited Arsenal, to be fair. There's total difference in this performance. If I look back to early in the season, I was at the stadium, I think you were, when we beat Norwich 1-0 in the 4th game of the season, when we'd been struggling. We were struggling for goals. We lost our first 3. We weren't creating chances. And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was the player who, ironically, scored our first Premier League goal of the season. And fast forward 4 months, we're now scoring goals for fun. That's 14 in our last 4 Premier League games, 19 in our last 5 games in all competition. What's so remarkable about it is that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is no longer in the team. So it's a complete transformation, James. Yeah, we totally dominated the game yesterday.
It absolutely is. Now, there was something really interesting that we both picked up on. I know you really want to break this down. It's about our shape in the game. We line up on paper as a 4-2-3-1, but in typical Arteta fashion, you don't quite play the position it looks like you're going to play on the team sheet. It's all about rotation and movement, positional play, all these things. Let's show the 11s and the shape we kind of get into, because I know you were really interested in this.
Yes, I was. I think Norwich lined up in a 4-3-3, Arsenal in a 4-2-3-1. But one thing I noticed in this game is we with the movement of the players, it became a 4-3-3. And the key parts of this, really, what I noticed really was Saka hugging the touchline on the right, Martinelli on the left. But with Partey sitting, I noticed that Xhaka was in the left half space when we played forward, and Odegaard was in the right half space. So with Partey sitting at the base of the 3, Xhaka able to move forward in the left-hand side space, and Odegaard in the right half space. It was basically a 4-3-3 when we had the ball, James.
Yeah, it was. It was something I noticed Xhaka getting forward in the West Ham game a lot. He was almost like a box-to-box. I didn't really think about, but I didn't focus too much on his position. I kind of noticed in that tactical insight I did without you, where he was playing closer to Partey. But in this game, it felt more to me like he was the second number 10. It was strange. He was an advanced 8, I think you'd call it, in a 4-3-3.
Yes, I think that was reflected in his numbers, James. I think he had 8 out of 8 final entry passes, 100%. 8 out of 8 final entry passes are the best in the team. And also he had the most passes in the opposition in their half, 41 forward passes. So there's the final third passes. Xhaka, 8 out of 8. Odegaard had 6 out of his 9, level with Partey. Tierney, 9 of his 14, and White, 6 out of his 10. So that was the best for Arsenal on final third passes. But Xhaka also had 41 passes, as I said, in the opposition half yesterday. And that, to me, reflected a change in his role. I thought he was excellent yesterday. I think he's growing in the team at the moment. And also what I liked about him yesterday, he was a real leader on the pitch.
I agree.
Him and Laka, I think, really stood up for the team yesterday when those young players who, let's face it, Norwich, when they went one down, started to kick us a bit. And I think that Laka was in the ref's face a couple of times, telling him to, making him aware that Saka was getting kicked. And I think Xhaka was there as well, doing what Xhaka does. So they were real leaders. Yes, even Ben White was in the face of a couple of their players when Norwich tried to rough it up. It's great to see our senior players standing up and being counted, not only in the performances on the pitch, but in the way they stood up for the young players yesterday, James.
Yeah, I completely agree. I thought Xhaka and Lacazette's experience really came through yesterday. In moments where people forget that a 1-0 up. I know. I said the game was comfortable, and it was. But it only takes a moment in the Premier League. It only takes something, and suddenly it's 1-1, and you may be doubting yourselves. And as they try to rough us up, you're right. Xhaka and Lacazette stood up in those moments, as I think did quite a few players. Partey came over, White, who you've mentioned. But I want to ask about that Xhaka role we've been talking about. I have always been let's say, worried about leaving Xhaka as a lone midfielder, almost doing the Partey role. I kind of worry about him in that situation. And a few times under Unai Emery and Arsene Wenger, maybe even under Arteta, he's been used as the deeper of the midfielders. What did you make of him being that advanced number 8 in a situation where, I guess the way I'm thinking about it, does it kind of nullify his weaknesses? Because there were also moments where he was able to shuttle back and get next to Partey and be a second defensive midfielder when we were out of possession. And he is definitely a player that is understanding tactically what Arteta wants him to do, game in, game out.
Yes, I think what I noticed yesterday in his role also is the partnerships that are being built on that left-hand side with Xhaka, Martinelli and Tierney. So what you often found was Partey would have the ball and slip it through to Xhaka. Xhaka would combine with Martinelli on the left, or Xhaka would sit deeper, as you said, next to Partey, and Martinelli would come inside as inside forward and enable Kieran Tierney to overlap on the outside. And the good thing about this is it creates two options for us going forward. I think when Aubameyang was in the team, it was always the whole of our build-up was looking to get Aubameyang in on that left-hand side. But now we've changed. Now we're more fluid. There's more movement. You've got runners all over the pitch. And I think Xhaka, we've talked about in the past, his mobility is not his strength. But in this system, I certainly think it suits him. Obviously, it was only Norwich, so you've got to bear that in mind. But for all that, I thought he looked really good yesterday. His passing was good. His understanding of position was really good. The way he combined with Martinelli was really good. And his leadership qualities, everything he wanted, that was a real proper performance in central midfield yesterday.
I completely agree. I think the players are starting to understand positional play, Arteta's philosophy and the way he wants them to, let's say, position themselves in certain areas of the game a lot better. And I put this together to illustrate a little bit what I mean, where we're sort of used to seeing Xhaka sometimes drop back into the defence, so Tierney can get forward, Marte to come inside, Odegaard can go wide, so Lacazette to come inside, and Saka can go on beyond. We saw a lot of those patterns, not necessarily yesterday. Xhaka obviously was getting forward, as we mentioned, but we have seen, alterations of almost that triangle. Yesterday it was Xhaka more in the central role, Martin holding the width, Tierney holding his defensive position. But we've seen them, alternate, where sometimes Xhaka will drop in to allow Tierney to get forward. We've seen Odegaard drop really far wide so that Saka can make that sort of out to in run. And the players, I thought yesterday, were looking very fluid, really kind of moving from kind of one, I don't know how to put it, one starting position to another. And it's enjoyable, because my biggest criticism from Everton was that the football was so, what's the word? Predictable. It was the same stuff. But yesterday I really enjoyed Arsenal's movement.
Yeah, it's quite a transformation from the Everton performance, isn't it? And
yeah, massively.
Bar the fact that obviously Tommy Asu was right back and White was in the middle instead of Holding, it is basically the same side, isn't it? So, yeah, it's quite a transformation. And I think it started off in the Southampton game. And I think that the team is now, this 11 looks really fluid. It's all about movement, patterns of play. And you can clearly see there's a lot of coaching going on as well. There is a fluidity. We're going to talk about the Arsenal goals. I love the way yesterday Martinelli run literally from one side of the pitch to the other to get a tackle in that led to the second goal. I think that there is now greater confidence in the team. With that confidence comes the ability to play the way they are. I think Martin Odegaard is absolutely key to everything, orchestrates everything, and he's now really growing as in this team. And I know we're going to talk about his numbers as well. Saka offers us such great movement, quick feet, balance on that right-hand side. Martinelli, what you've got is you've almost got there's better balance to this team now. With Lacazette, really sort of like we talked about it before, he's almost like the base for everything. And if so everything about this team now it's amazing, really, because it's all Arteta was always going to be judged by how he handled this Aubameyang situation, not just how he handled it off the pitch, but what happened on the pitch. Yeah. And I think he's been absolutely, it's looking like he's been justified. in everything he's done so far. He's reaping its rewards, isn't it? Without
Yeah,
Auburn at top of him.
I think so. I completely agree. We've got to mention this, some of the star players from yesterday. I mean, I've got to say, I thought everyone across the board was terrific, and I said as much in my player ratings. But that first goal, Bukayo Saka, I mean, let's just talk about his numbers as well. I mean, take it away. This is your research, your work. He was impressive, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. I mean, take-ons there, completed 100%, touches in the opposition box 5, chances created 2 shots on target, 2 goals. He literally had Williams on toast for the whole game. Norwich decided really they played this very compact style 4-3-2 out of possession, and they were quite happy to leave him one-on-one. And I think, I listened to Ian Wright last night on Match of the Day say that basically he should have shown Saka on his outside. But Saka can go both ways, James. I think you said it in yourself on Twitter yesterday. He's got the ability, such quick feet. You know what he's going to do, but you just can't stop it. It's the movement, the balance, the swift, the quick feet, the way he gets it away. I do think he's left his shot in the corner. I think the goalkeeper could have done slightly better for yesterday, to be fair. Again, we pressed really well on that first goal. Kieran Tierney's the one pressing higher, wins the ball back, plays it in to Lacazette, into Martinelli. Martinelli across. It shifts from one side of the pitch now to Odegaard. Odegaard, with his first of his 2 assists yesterday, feeds Saka, and then he's looking to get it on his left foot. It's all about balance, quick feet, getting the shot away. And I think the one thing I like about Bukayo Saka's performance, James, if I just round off by touching on this, he's got everything you want in a young footballer. He's now got something like 13 goal contributions, I think it is this season, which I think matches what he did last season. And I think he's scored 5 goals now, which matches what he did in last season as well. So his shooting is particularly impressive.
Just thinking before,
I think I'll have to. I might be wrong on those goal contributions actually, but I know he scored 5 goals now in 19 games, certainly. So I know I'll be corrected on the goal contributions, but the point being is that his numbers have improved this season, and also his shooting is improving. And if he can add that goals to his game, which we've always asked for, we've got a serious player on our hands there, and he's replicating that on the pitch.
Completely agree. Martin Odegaard as well, terrific. We could talk about Kieran Tierney, who I thought was fantastic, I have to be honest. But we're going to focus on Odegaard today. Part of the Fantastic Four we mentioned last week. Again, good pass accuracy, numbers in terms of touches, passes, and final third, shots and assists. He set up Tierney with a lovely ball. He has to sort of almost cut inside a little bit to make that pass. When he does, it's exquisite, and Tierney goes on and scores, pretty much kills the game off. But there's another really interesting stat he sent over, and I'm going to read this out, which I mean just tells you the kind of purple patch he's in. In December, Odegaard has managed in 6 games 3 goals and 3 assists. He's registered the most chances created, the most through balls, the most big chances created, and the most goal involvements in the Premier League this month. I've got to say, he's got to be up for the Player of the Month award. But I mean, he's in terrific form, and he is such a joy to watch, isn't he?
He is. I mean, he's playing absolutely at the top of his game at the moment, and I think he's the one who's really benefiting from Lacazette's presence in the team. He's scoring goals, he's making goals, his movement, his link-up play, the way he keeps possession alive. He's doing everything really that you want in a player in that position. He's looking a real steal now at £30 million, isn't he? I thought yesterday he was absolutely superb.
We just want this to carry on, and Man City's a big test coming up. We know the Wolves game isn't happening. Well, it's been postponed. So we've been absolutely waxing lyrical about these players and the system and Arteta, and rightly so. But City's going to be a big test, so hopefully they will come through there. I just wanted to talk about the third goal. We'll just briefly touch on the fourth and fifth. Well done, Smith Rowe comes off the bench, scores again. We've got a round-off stat at the end to touch on that a little bit more. But well done to Smith Rowe. Well done Lacazette winning the penalty, using his experience, using just the dark arts. He's so good at all that. Wins a penalty and gets his goal. I wanted to retouch on this third goal, and it's the one we've recreated, and I'll show you why. So Tierney obviously takes a throw into Xhaka, gets it back, and then finds Odegaard. And as Odegaard gets it, you see everyone start to come across. Odegaard with a lovely flick into Lacazette, who looks after the ball, gives it to Saka. Now, at this point, I'm going to stop in just a second here. As Saka comes back inside, I just want to point out the amount of players in the box. Lacazette, Martinelli, Tierney, with Partey and Xhaka on the edge. Odegaard's come to the right to create an overlap. And Arteta and Arsenal have been given a lot of criticism for getting a goal or two lead and then kind of sitting back on it. We saw that in the Spurs game. We saw that in the Villa game. We saw that at home to Palace at 1-0 up. We've seen Arsenal on occasion, Man United, 1-0 up at Old Trafford playing brilliantly. Then we sort of dropped deep into our shell. And the big question has always been, is this our instruction from Arteta? Or is it the players just being very young and experienced and not being able to, maybe not just physically, but mentally as well, maintain the levels that they've shown at times in the game? Now, what I loved about Norwich was that we were sensible, we were professional, we were smart, but we never really let up. We were still trying to play our football and get the goals. We see Martinelli had one disallowed for, I think, an offside call, I think. And what I love about this goal is that players were in the box. Everyone's getting forward. And as Saka comes inside, Odegaard drops wide. You've got Martinelli, Lacazette all waiting for a goal. Tierney's backing himself to get forward as well, despite him not being the most attacking option in that game, but getting a goal, getting forward for that third. And it's little things like that I really love seeing from Arsenal. They're really committing men going forward. Partey and Xhaka are there on the edge, waiting for a cutback or a rebound or something. And our attacking endeavour rewarded us with 5 goals, and I thought we absolutely deserved it.
Yeah, fantastic goal, wasn't it? Just some numbers on Bukayo Saka, because I've just determined to put this right today. Besides Saka's second goal was his 50th goal assist of his senior career. It's amazing to think that he's turned 20 in September. Just to get those numbers right then, in 2021 season, he's played 2,560 minutes. He scored 5 goals and 3 assists. Last season, 21-22, he played, that was last season, 2020-21, 5 goals, 3 assists. And this season so far, 1,402 minutes, 5 goals and 4 assists. There are 9 goal contributions so far this season. And I think he joined elite company in this game, James, in the fact that he's 20 years, 112 days. He's the second youngest player to reach 10 Premier League goals for Arsenal after none other than Nicolas Anelka. A fantastic performance by him yesterday, capped off by a flowing team move, as you said, for a really good third goal.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to see more of this, Arsenal. As I mentioned Man City a second ago, when they come, I know it's a different opposition. I know it's a different challenge, but I still want to see us causing them problems, because we've shown in the last 3, 4, 5 games, we can score goals. We can be a threat. And I know people talk about opposition, but still, the football's there, and you can see that the levels have gone up of late. Let's just round off with some stats. Last Boxing Day, Smith Rowe made his first Premier League start under Mikel Arteta, and look how crucial he's become for us now, even coming off the bench and scoring goals. We're absolutely loving Emil Smith Rowe. This is my favourite stat you sent over. Only Man City with 110 points have won more points than Arsenal's 82 points since Boxing Day 12 months ago exactly.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? He's come, and also with Smith Rowe, he's come off the bench now. I think he's the first Arsenal player, I think, to score. It's his 4th successive goal off the bench, was it?
That's absolutely it. That's in the round off stats. The first player in Arsenal's history.
He's the first Arsenal player to do that, and he's now scored. I think is it 8 or 9 league goals? I think it's 8, isn't it? 8, so he's up there in the scoring charts as well. So he came on. It was he also fed the ball in for Laka when Laka won the penalty for the 4th goal, which Laka converted. And Laka as well, shout out for him. He's been involved now in goals and assists in his last few games. Not only is he being unselfish off the ball, he's contributing on the ball as well. Yeah, so fantastic numbers. Everyone in the team yesterday worthy of a mention. But yeah, fantastic numbers. And Arteta, since I think at this time last year, I think it was Boxing Day that Smith Rowe did come in the team. We did that show, didn't we, at the end of last season, where we broke down the turnaround at the end of last season. Started with Arteta turning to youth, turning to Martinelli and Smith Rowe. And he's done the same again this year, hasn't he? And
he absolutely has.
The same rewards. Yeah, fantastic numbers there.
Yeah, completely agree. You're right. Lacazette, 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 4 Premier League games. And the final stat that I really enjoyed is that Ramsdale's kept his 10th clean sheet for Arsenal in only his 17th start. It did take Bern Leno 43 starts to reach 10 shutouts. Now, in fairness, that could be down to the coaching and the defense in front of him and all that. But major credit to Aaron Ramsdale for a fantastic start. You know, he's really hit the ground running as well.
Yeah, he has. He didn't have a lot to do yesterday, but I still fought for all that. What he did really well. I thought it was a complete team performance yesterday against a very poor Norwich team. We have to say that. So we're not getting carried away. People will turn around and say, you know, it was only Norwich City, but you've still got to put these sides to the sword. Even if we are flat track buddies at the moment, we weren't doing that last season. So that's something to take out of that. January is going to be a very difficult month, and people are already saying that you've got Man City, you've got Liverpool in the league, Liverpool in the League Cup, and you've got Tottenham away as well. That will, you know, tell us exactly where we are. But, you know, for all that, I think we're doing things this season that we weren't doing last season, and it's great to see. And to end the year on a high note in the top 4, after the start we had last year, I don't think any of us saw that, James, did we?
Nope. And I completely agree. Who foresaw that turnaround? Look, it's been great breaking this down with you. Well done to Saka, Odegaard, all the players. I thought they were fantastic. Yeah, who else? I was about to mention them all, but I can't. We'll be here forever. But some lovely goals. Well done to Mikel Arteta as well. That's another 5 on the board. That's a lot of goals now that are starting to go in, and that was one of the big criticisms. Arsenal really turned that around in the last couple of games since Everton, really. So let's hope it continues. It's Man City next. We'll obviously be back together to break that down. Hopefully it's a win, or at least a really positive performance, something that we can build on as momentum going into a crucial January where, yes, it's tricky, but you feel Arsenal can do something if they continue this momentum. So fingers crossed. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Please do. Every little helps. And like the video if you enjoyed it. It obviously helps us. We'll be in the comment section discussing anything else you might have noticed. You know, maybe the Rob Holding, you know, we haven't mentioned him. Maybe he deserves some credit for coming in. Thomas Partey as well, I thought was grew into the game, but got, you know, ultimately at the end, I thought played very well. So yeah, we'll be discussing it all with you guys in the comments. Graham, happy
James,
New Year.
Happy New Year. Can I just close by wishing you, Robbie, everyone at AFTV, Cecil, yourself, Robbie, the gang, and also all the subscribers and to AFTV, a Happy New Year. And also to thank everybody this year for the great comments, feedback we get to the show, the love for the show, which means a lot to me personally. I'm glad that everyone enjoys it, gets value out of it. Try to answer every question as objectively if I can. And I just want to thank everybody for the support of the show, AFTV for allowing me to do it. It's been great working with you, James, and I've really enjoyed working with you this year and looking forward to starting next year working with you again on the second half of the season, the Tactical Insight Show. So Happy New Year to everybody. At AFTV and everybody who watches the Tactical Insight Show.
I echo all that, Graham. Been an absolute pleasure working with you. Thank you so much. Hopefully an even better second half of the season to come. I think if we have that, top 4 will be there, and then we'll enjoy that end of season review for sure. That will be good. All right, guys, thank you so much. Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for your continued love and support. We will see you next week.